All right, hello, we're jumping right into a draft. Welcome back to the Cube Counselor. We were not able to secure a guest this week, but that's okay. We were able to draft the Live the Dream Cube by the two Davids, McDarby and I'm sorry, I've forgotten. But a thrill rider, as I know him, I've been able to help him test some drafting on Discord. Um, yeah, so I appreciate them letting me do that. And we're going to fly through this. We're going to do it a little bit differently. Um, I've got some other things going on, so did want to get an episode out. So sorry if this isn't as helpful to people, but we get to look at our pack one, pick one here, and then we'll kind of fly through. Like I've said before on this channel, part of this is exploring different draft environments and getting better at Cube. Have a really hard time. You see I went down to the wire, and then I did go with the Simic Signet, which in the little bit that I watched, and I've played this format before, it was on here about a year ago. And I do highlight the sweet new art for Anguished Unmaking. This is a replay, by the way. If anybody didn't guess, I'm not actually drafting right now. Yes, I did watch this quite a bit. Last time it was up, a little bit this time, so I am not that familiar with it. So went with the safe pick, and I do hear signets are pretty good. So we start with the signet, and then we'll kind of just go quickly through these. We take a Golgari signet second, and then we take, just because we really wanted to try, Vorinclex, Monstrous Raider. And then we take Avenger of Zendikar. We're settling into our normal lane of green, and here again we get roped in a little bit to new cards. So we take Savella. We just take Inscription to kind of cut green. We take Garruk to cut green. We take Fetch, because we thought a Fetch was good late. We take In Search of Greatness here just because we want to try it out. A spoiler will tell you it was not very good. It was not very good in the deck we drafted, I should say. We take Walking Ballista thinking maybe we'll ramp. If we can get into like blue-green ramp, there's Keenan Bonder's Prodigy, and a couple other cool cards. We probably should have been 5-color stuff. We kind of figured out here. There's tons of cool stuff to do with that. So we take a Goose. We think we're kind of on ramp still. Probably hedging into red here. And again, maybe we didn't have the best synergy. This cube is very big into doing crazy stuff with big synergies. So, we take Enrace Forerunners, but we're not really having the dorks that we want. We take Luca to kind of cheat again. So we're kind of in a red-green cheaty-ish, rampish thing. So you see, I'll go a little quicker here because, again, I'm trying to be a little bit expeditious. Then we see our favorite card ever, Soul Herder. Wish we could have it, but we'll take Goblin Cratermaker because we don't have a lot going on. And then we're just going to take some random stuff. Pack 3. Selvalla's probably one that I still underrate. I see people play it and do well with it. I guess I don't like drawing my opponent cards, but I don't know. I see it played in EDH and stuff like that. So we take Nyx Bloom here. We take Cavalier, just kind of trying to get some playables now. Nyx Bloom sure costs a lot, but we do have some ways to cheat it in. We probably should have taken Ilharg here, but I think we take Dryad. Then we get an Elf. Nothing really good here. Spite Bellows we take. We take Nissa. We love Nissa. Never going to have a hard time passing a Nissa. And then we take some random cards. And yeah, so there's where we end up. Basically the deck here. So not the best draft. Again, this is the only time we drafted the Live the Dream Cube. This time around, probably should have watched a little bit more. Caleb Durward and J-Bro drafting it. Again, it's a high synergy environment. So I don't know. I mean, Green Ramp seems like it could work in here. There's a ton of signets, a ton of cool stuff you can do, but probably I ended up with Birthing Pod, which we didn't play, and In Search of Greatness, which we did play. Probably could have hedged a little bit more on going up the scale and paying attention to that. So, maybe we could have splashed for some of these weird cards because we can, sack or play them for free or whatever. But oops. So we are going to show you a game here that we did play. And again, we're going to go through it pretty quickly. Just because, again, I wanted to get some content out and talk about, something with this cube. It's a super fun cube. Would definitely, just happen to be a week where I had a lot going on. We got a lot of snow here in Chicago. That certainly was a big factor in it. And we're going through this pretty quick here. But yeah, we had some fun in this match. I believe this is match 3. We're 0-2 at the time, playing to scrape out some play points. I think the last couple times we've drafted, we've gone 0-3. Even I've been doing some online drafts with people, and I think I've gone 0-3 or 1-2. So we're not on a hot streak here, but that's okay. We've said before that's not the number one reason we play, and that's part of what I wanted to talk about today. Is we are having fun with this cube. We're doing things that we enjoy doing. Again, we kind of fell into, as we do often in draft environment. I do want to pause it there. In draft environments we're not familiar with, we tend to fall into our green ramp, comfort zone, and we pretty much did that here. But one thing I didn't do was I hadn't really read. I believe I played Luca in Ikoria draft, and totally forgot about the second ability, and we got very lucky there in sacrificing. Or we exiled the Dryad, and then you get a creature with a higher converted mana cost, and boy, we got a good one. And we are living our dream. This is what we want to do in Cube. We want to make massive amounts of mana and play big dummies and sometimes win or pump Walking Ballistas and things like that. And we definitely do that here. We definitely do that here. We play Avenger of Zendikar, another one of our favorite big dumb green idiots. We use Luca's other ability, and we have 1,000,000 mana from Nyxbloom Ancient. So we are just going to town. Get another mana so that we can mow down Thief of Sanity before it can do any real damage to us. I probably should have killed Omnath there. Omnath is insane. If people don't know Omnath, it does everything you want it to do. But yeah, we get the concession, they play that out, and then I think they realize we're probably going to bink that and then go to town. We got a lot of stuff out. So yeah, so that was game 1. Game 2. We had a great time. We're feeling good. We're feeling like, you know what, we're going to get this victory here. We end up mulliganing. We had a couple signets, so we went with 16 lands. We had a couple mana dorks, but again, I think it was a deck building issue. People were doing insanely powerful things. We played a red deck where they have an enchantment where it triples damage, and everybody was kind of living their dream. And we, I built a deck I enjoyed, but we certainly weren't on the power level of other things. So here, we have no real answers. We have no real interaction. So Thief of Sanity kind of goes to town on us here, as you can probably watch, or as you can watch here. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. We had a great time playing this league. We had a great time in game 1. We got that lucky variance, Nyxbloom Ancient, which really won us the game. This game, our opponent is having fun, and my initial inclination was, as I've talked about before, it was a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of anger, and that's natural. I'm not telling anybody how to play the game. I'm saying for myself, speaking out loud, I am going to try to let my opponents have some joy too. I do say that, and I have the chat muted on MTGO. I rarely unmute it unless I know the person, but maybe I could have said something in chat, encourage them. It's something I'm going to try to do more of. Again, I don't practice what I preach here. I didn't do it in the game. Was feeling a little bit salty, but you see here, if people don't know what Maelstrom this does. Maybe I should slow down here. Maybe you don't know. Brago blinks things at end of turn, so he's blinking his Sagas. He's blinking his Omnath. Now he's cascading every time he plays a spell. So I think this cube can definitely give some salty feelings because you're doing insane, powerful things with some variance. I mean, look at the color requirements that our opponent had here. He's playing all 5 colors. But he also drafted for that. He's got, quite a bit of fixing. He was always able, I think he played Omnath every game. Was able to play his Omnath on curve most of the time. Was able to play Prismatic Bridge, which is one of the new cards from Kaldheim, which I've wanted to try as well. So he's got a lot going on. And yeah, obviously we scoop it up there. And we head to game 3. And again, I didn't necessarily practice it there. I didn't unmute the chat and say, way to go. We do mulligan again here, so that was a little frustrating. But it's something I'm going to try to do, particularly in person. I've done a couple of Discord drafts again where we've, traded the cards on MTGO and been able to play. Big shout out to SF Vintage Cube. I believe from the San Francisco area. He started a group of cubers out there, has invited me out. His name's Eric. So did want to give a shout out to him. I've had a great time playing with him. Also, our guest, a couple weeks ago, Elliot Sniffygull has invited me a couple times to draft his Monkey Cube, which we, I believe, linked last time. Have had a great time with that as well. I'm not trying to be overly forceful, but again, just speaking out loud, trying to put some positivity out into the world. I'm trying to, cheer them on. Hey, what are you enjoying about draft? Do you like your deck? Just trying to put some positivity out there. It doesn't mean I don't also get angry when once again they get their 5 colors right on turn and play this card. It doesn't mean I don't get those feelings. But there's things I can learn from this too. If I had the time, maybe I could have taken more of the risk, like I said in the draft. I almost took Jingatha and kind of forced 5 color there. So, maybe that's something we could do in the future because we left ourselves, I think, short on real good playables here. And again, this card was kind of a blank too, so maybe that would have been different as well. He's playing Tagrid. Maybe he needed a playable here. Maybe he has something they can sacrifice. Whatever the case is, I still feel like our opponent is living their dream, and I applaud them for that. They put together a cool deck. Our deck definitely had weaker spells, and if this was to go up again, I definitely would play it again. It's probably the most fun cube I've ever played. I love watching people play it. It's just amazingly fun. So did just kind of want to put out a short video this week. And again, my highlight this week, if I'm talking about Radicube acceptance, I've played the cube a few times. We haven't mentioned that phrase we were trying to do a few weeks ago, or months ago at this point. I'm almost up to a year of doing this show. So, I'm going to celebrate that as well. And, if I'm going into the cube open, understanding I can't control what other people pick and what cards are in my pack and all those things that we've talked about, several months ago. It goes the same in the games too. I can't control, unless I'm fate sealing them with Jace the Mind Sculptor, what they draw. I can only control what I have in my deck, how I play, and just wanted to get back to that. Honestly, going 0-3 did not feel great. I don't obviously encourage people to throw matches or do those things just to give their opponents a thrill. But you know what? If that makes you happy, go ahead. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Again, I'm getting a little long-winded now, but my point is I'm going to try to see the joy that my opponents are having, especially in a cube like this, which is all about, the joy that you can have. And that's something in the world, right? We need a little bit of joy and encouragement of each other. So that'll wrap it up. before I do, one more shameless plug. This is Wednesday the 17th when this comes out. Saturday the 20th, our Kickstarter is still going. We were able to unlock 2 stretch goals. Part of the reason my video is short this week, I do have some comic book work to do. If you're interested in seeing that, maybe I can do a Cube and Comic Counselor episode. Show you some how I digital letter the books. I've started doing some flat colors on books to prepare my colorist files. So, that's something I've been doing as well. So if you're interested, comment below. But yeah, we've still got some great incentives here, some pledge levels that are still open. And we were able to unlock 2 stretch goals. So, for the minimum backing, you're getting 7 free digital books. Every tier gets that. You're getting, if you back a physical tier, you get this awesome sticker we made down here. Yeah, so you're getting all kinds of free stuff just for supporting us. You see we're already funded, but every dollar helps in printing more copies and getting more copies to my collaborators to sell when conventions are up in the future. So shameless plug is done. I appreciate you hanging in there. And again, if that's something people want to see in the future, we can combine that in these episodes as well. So, as I've said, slogan of the show is we get better together. And I think part of that is, I'm not saying you need to be dishonest to people, but, cheer them on, share in their joy. That's part of magic to me. And that's something I'm going to try to do more often. So as I say on the show, we get better together. So hopefully this brief episode, would help you reflect on sometimes how we interact with our opponents and how we can do better at, encouraging each other. So take care, everybody.